Let me start with a simple question. If you earn good money, why does it still feel like you're stuck? Not broke, not struggling to survive, just stuck. You work, you get paid, you pay your bills, and somehow there's never real progress. Let's explain this like you're 5. Imagine you have a bucket. Every month, money goes into the bucket, and every month, little holes at the bottom let money drip out. The problem isn't always how much goes in, it's how many holes you've quietly drilled into the bottom. Now let's make this real. You're 27. You live in the US, or maybe somewhere in Western Europe. You earn $70,000 a year. Sounds solid. After taxes, healthcare, social contributions, maybe you actually take home around $4,200 per month. That feels comfortable. But now let's look at the holes. Rent in a decent area, $1,600. Car payment, $450. Car insurance and fuel, $300. Student loan, $400. Groceries and utilities, $700. Subscriptions, phone, gym, $250. Eating out, social life, small lifestyle upgrades, $500. We're already at about $4,200. That's your entire bucket. You're not irresponsible. You're not reckless. You're just normal. And that's where the trap begins. Because debt traps don't feel dramatic. They feel ordinary. Here's the hidden mistake. Most people think debt is about buying things you can't afford. It's not. Debt is about buying things that quietly limit your future choices. Let's zoom in on one example. The car. You finance a $32,000 car, 5-year loan, 6% interest. Your $450 monthly payment doesn't feel extreme. It feels manageable. But over 5 years, you'll pay roughly $27,000 in payments. And the car might be worth $15,000 by then. That's over $12,000 lost to depreciation, plus interest. Now here's the part most people never calculate. If that same $450 per month was invested at an average 7% annual return for 10 years, it becomes around $78,000. Same money, different direction. The car didn't just cost you $32,000. It quietly cost you the possibility of $78,000. That's the part no one feels, because the pain is invisible. Now let's talk about credit cards. You spend $3,000 on a vacation. You carry the balance at 20% interest. If you only make minimum payments, that vacation can cost you $4,500 or more over time. You're not paying for the beach, you're paying for the delay. And here's the psychological reason this happens. Humans are wired for the present. Behavioral economists call this present bias. Your brain values today more than next year. A nicer apartment today feels real. A stronger net worth 10 years from now feels abstract. So you upgrade slowly. A slightly better car, a slightly nicer neighborhood, a slightly more expensive lifestyle. Nothing extreme, just incremental comfort. This is lifestyle inflation. And debt makes lifestyle inflation easier because it removes the friction. When you swipe a card or sign a loan agreement, the future version of you agrees to pay for today's comfort. But future you doesn't get a vote. Now let's project this forward. You stay in this cycle for 10 years. Income increases gradually, expenses rise with it. Debt balances shrink slowly, but new ones appear. At 37, you might earn $95,000, but your lifestyle now costs $90,000. You feel successful, but you're still dependent. That's the trap. Debt keeps your monthly obligations fixed, and fixed obligations reduce freedom. Freedom to change jobs, freedom to start something new, freedom to take a risk. Debt doesn't just take money, it takes flexibility. Now here's the shift. Financially intelligent people don't avoid all debt because they're scared. They avoid unnecessary debt because they value optionality. They ask a different question, not, can I afford this payment, but what is this payment preventing me from doing later? They see every monthly obligation as a claim on their future time. They understand that wealth is not about visible upgrades, it's about invisible space. Space between income and expenses. Space between obligation and freedom. They still live well. They just build slack into their lives, and slack compounds. If you explain debt like you're 5, it's simple. Every loan is a promise from your future self, and too many promises make your future smaller. Most people aren't trapped because they're careless. They're trapped because the system makes debt feel normal. Cars are financed, degrees are financed, phones are financed, furniture is financed. Normal doesn't mean harmless. It just means common. And once you see that clearly, calmly, without guilt, you start making slightly different decisions. Not extreme ones, just intentional ones. And over time, small reductions in monthly obligations create something rare, breathing room. That's what breaks the trap. Not motivation, not hustle, just awareness. If this way of thinking helped you see money a little more clearly, consider subscribing. Nothing dramatic, just more conversations like this.